Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
New York is where I'd rather stay. I get allergic smelling hay. I just adore a penthouse view. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
The chores.
The stores.
Fresh air.
Times Square.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, city life.
Green Acres, we are there.
I was toting my pack along the dusty Amarillo Road when along came a semi with a high and canvas covered load. He said, if you're going to Amarillo, Mac, I'll give you a ride. So I climbed up into the cab and then I settled down inside. He asked me if I'd seen a road with so much dust and sand, and I said, listen, bud, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere, man. I've crossed the deserts bare, man, breathed the mountain air, man. Travel, I've had my share, man, I've been everywhere. I've been to Waco, Hyco, Hondo, Navasota, Winsburg, Jacksboro, Hillsboro, Santa Rosa, Austin, Houston, Galveston, Texarkana, Frisco, Buffalo, Conroe, Corsicana, Goliad, Groesbeck, Glen Rose, Red Oak, Post Oak, Live Oak, Lone Oak, no joke. I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere, man. I've crossed the deserts bare, man, breathed the mountain air, man. Wind blowing in my...
We're going to be out here for about half an hour, about 2.5 miles all the way around. Lots of historical information, hopefully some of it entertaining and educational at the same time. But I'm not making any promises. Oh, we have some simple safety rules that we must abide by while we're out on tour. If you guys could remain seated at all times while the boat is in motion, I would greatly appreciate that. No tobacco use of any kind while we're out on tour, and that goes especially for you kids. Try and keep your arms and elbows inside the outer portions of the blue railings at all times. And if you could wait until we're done to use your cell phones, I personally would appreciate that. Now, all the way up at the front where it says no seating allowed, there are 43 life jackets. If you never had to use them, they are brand new, but just in case of a true emergency, you know exactly where they are. Now, the river is only 3 to 5 feet deep, pretty much all the way around. So if something silly would have happened, like you would have fallen over the side, I am going to be pointing and laughing my butt off as I sail away. But you can pretty much just stand up and walk right on out. And that does it for the safety portion of our tour. Scotty, more speed. And we're there. All right, didn't even feel it, did you? Now, this area that we've just come into is known as La Villita, which means little village in Spanish. Way back in the early 1700s, this whole area was the military barracks for the Spanish colonial army that inhabited the area at the time. The Little Rhine Steakhouse and the Fig Tree Restaurant you see off to the left, was also housing, but for German immigrants in the mid-1800s. Now, this entire area was rebuilt along with the construction of the rest of the Riverwalk from 1939 to 1941. It was turned into an artisan and craftsman community and their shops, and a performance space, which we're getting ready to come into right in front of us. Now, this is the Arneson River Theater, and it can seat 800 people, stadium style, off to the left. If you'd like to visit our local artisan and craftsman, all you guys got to do is go through that little curved archway at the very top of the seating area that says entrance to La Villita, and their community and shops are right on the other side. If you look to the right here, you're going to see the Arneson River stage, where we hold a great many performances and ceremonies throughout the entire year. But if you look at the center of the stage, and about 8 feet up off the ground, you're going to see 5 bronze bells. Now, those 5 bronze bells, they commemorate 2 different things. First and foremost, they commemorate the missions that helped form San Antonio. That would be Mission Concepcion, Espada, San Juan, San Jose, and Mission de Valero, which you probably know better as the Alamo. Now, the Alamo is no longer a mission. It is now a war memorial and one of Texas's most famous landmarks. The second thing those bells commemorate is Robert H. Hugman, who was the young architect who designed the entire Riverwalk by himself back in 1929 when he was only 27 years old. He was a local boy who loved the natural beauty of our river, so he incorporated these hundreds of years old bald cypress trees that you see, and much of the local flora and fauna as well. We see all of that throughout the entire tour. And that's what gives our Riverwalk its natural look and unique feel. His plan was accepted in 1929, but they couldn't get the funding together for construction until 1939. And then the construction was completed in 1941 at a cost of $430,000. It is now worth well over $1 billion. Or as Dr. Evil would say, $1 billion! Pretty impressive for a guy who's only 27 years old. And of course I mean Robert Hugman, not Dr. Evil. If you guys look towards the front of the boat a little bit off to the right, you're going to see a diamond-shaped sculpture and a big old cypress tree. Now the root ball of that cypress tree forms a little island that we call Wedding Island, because on average one couple celebrates their marriage here every single day of the year. This year that means that there are going to be 366 optimistic couples. Isn't that sweet? I myself, I would have already celebrated twice. But of historical notice, if you look towards the back of the boat and off to the right, you're going to see a diamond-shaped sculpture that is called Father Massenet's Table by Ralph Briseno. And that was mounted there on June 13th of 1991 to commemorate the 300th anniversary of the very first Catholic Mass that was ever held here on the river after its discovery on June 13th of 1691. According to the Catholic calendar, June 13th is the feast day of St. Anthony. So the Catholic Church decided to rename the river in honor of that saint, and the Spanish translation of St. Anthony is San Antonio. And that's how we got our name. Right as we come on.
In the southern part of Texas, in the town of San Antonio, there's a fortress all in ruin that the weeds have overgrown. You may look in vain for crosses and you'll never see a one, but sometime between the setting and the rising of the sun, you can hear a ghostly bugle as the men go marching by. You can hear them as they answer to that roll call in the sky. Colonel Travis, Davy Crockett, and 180 more, Captain Dickinson and Jim Bowie, present and accounted for.
Llegó el momento ya de separarnos. El silencio, el corazón dice suspira. Vaya por Dios, querido. Vaya por Dios.
I've been to Krugerville, Pflugerville, Van Horn, Val Verde, Bracketville, Bartonville, Beeville, Bull Verde, Bear Creek, Cedar Creek, Mill Creek, Mineola, May Pearl, Monaghan, Telephone, Tuscola, Redwater, Round Rock, Round Top, Round Lake, Sour Lake, South Lake, Spring Lake. For Pete's sake, I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I've crossed the deserts bare, man. Breathed the mountain air, man. Drove my tires bare, man. I've been everywhere.